We are remnants, byproducts of a forgotten past. Man, born from dust, was strong, wise, and resilient, but was born into an unforgiving world. These are some of the first words we hear in the entirety of the RWBY series, giving us a brief introduction to the world we're about to explore, as well as a small origin story for humanity. And at first glance, that's all it is, an introduction to the RWBY series with a little bit of lore thrown in. Honestly, a brilliant way to introduce an excellent series. But the true weight behind these words isn't realized until 6 volumes later. These words were spoken by Salem, the only sentient being who was alive to witness the second coming of humanity to the world. These words are her literal recounting of humanity's rebirth. Now, current humanity on Remnant is a byproduct of old humanity. When the God of Darkness sent out his extinction wave and wiped out what remained of humanity, there was something left. This magical ash, this primordial ooze of dust. And it was from this dust that new humanity arose. And they can no longer wield the magical powers that were gifted to them by the gods. But what little magic did remain in this dust, humanity, when it was reborn, turned it into their own power, carving a path further from the gods. Instead of relying on a gifted power, it is something from within, their aura and semblance. And this new humanity kind of needed that power as they were born into an unforgiving world, one that the gods had abandoned. And the gods kindly left behind something to greet humanity when they were reborn: the Grimm. So yeah, that's humanity's origin story, and it is actually confirmed, as in the Volume 6 director's commentary, Carrie Shawcross did say that, or did call this dust a primordial ooze of magic and DNA that, gave rise to new humanity. So yeah, that's humanity's origin story. But what about the Faunus? Where do they fit in all this? Because we heard nothing about them, really, of their origins, at least in the Lost Fable. Ozpin was reincarnated, and then they just existed. The Faunus were there. And in the World of Remnant episode that focused on the Faunus are stated to have been around just as long as humans, possibly even a bit longer, so maybe they even came first. But considering humans and Faunus are so similar, except for the one animalistic trait that Faunus have, plus the other various abilities that Faunus occasionally have, other than that, they're like genetically pretty much similar. They're genetically compatible, etc. So it would stand to reason that Faunus originated from that same primordial ooze that current mankind did. But this ooze originated from old humanity, so how exactly is that possible? The easiest and most simple way that one could explain it is, well, the magic that was left in this dust that remained of old humanity just kind of formed into animalistic traits. I don't think that's the case, but there was magic remaining in this dust. When the God of Darkness sent out that extinction wave, he didn't take magic from humanity. No, he just captured humanity's spells that were flung at them, amplified it, and then wiped them all out with it. He didn't actually take the magic from them, otherwise Salem would have had her magic taken as well. And he didn't, which he honestly should have. I mean, look at how powerful she is now. But there was still magic in that primordial ooze, and I don't think that the magic did it on its own, just created the new species of the Faunus. I think that humanity and Faunus came around at the same time, and it was just that some of this primordial dust had animalistic DNA mixed in with it. Now, this could have happened a couple different ways. One is that maybe the extinction wave that the God of Darkness sent out wiped out a couple house cats or dogs or something along with it, and then the DNA was kind of mixed in with this primordial dust. And thus, humans and Faunus were both born from that same primordial dust. That's possible, but I don't think that would be the case either, because the God of Darkness would have wiped out all magical beings that existed. Now, you could say maybe there were other beings that existed that had magic within them, but I don't think that was the case, because in the legend that Crow said, the God of Light and Darkness came together to make one last creation: humanity. So it was just humanity that they created. So it wasn't that. Maybe the God of Light put some influence into the rebirth of humanity so that half of it would be reborn in God's image type thing. Because the gods themselves did have animalistic traits. They both had horns. Not to mention they could also transform into dragons. Please let dragons actually exist in RWBY, but, that's separate entirely. So maybe there was that influence. The God of Light influenced the creation of Faunus. But again, I don't see that as likely either. Now, after giving a whole bunch of reasons that it's probably not likely, the one I actually subscribe to is after the God of Darkness sent out his extinction wave, wiping out all of humanity and creating this primordial dust. He decided to do one more thing to absolutely screw up the world. He decided to hit the moon and send down hellfire. Send down these giant chunks that caused a lot of damage to the planet. Now, it's very easy to see that as these giant chunks of a celestial body are raining down on the planet, probably some wildlife, deer, maybe cats, dogs, anything caught in the crossfire was turned into a fine red mist. And that probably mixed in with the primordial dust. And thus Faunus were born. Very simple, very easy. Probably how it happened, actually. But I'd like to get some confirmation in the RWBY series. So, yeah, that's how I think the Faunus were made. Old humanity and Faunus were born from the primordial dust that was left from old humanity. And the way that Faunus came about was from having animal DNA that was mixed in by, you know, the God of Darkness ending up wiping out a lot of animals by sending down chunks of the moon that destroyed chunks of remnant. But yeah, what do you guys think about that idea? What do you guys think about the origin of Faunus and humanity? Do you have any other ideas to add to this? Because honestly, there is a lot we don't know, and I'm honestly hoping, at least before the end of the RWBY series, that we get another Lost Fable style episode where we go back into the past and explore how things came to be. But let me know what you guys think. Do you have any other ideas that would fill in some of these gaps, whether it's about Faunus or humanity or other things? I would love to know. So let me know down in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all enjoyed. And if you want to see more RWBY content like this, make sure to subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.